Are we live yet?
Nope. Waiting for the room to come up.
Flip a coin.
We're recording though, but we're not live yet, you guys. All right. Okay, there's the link, you guys. Finally popped up.
Yay.
Okay, Don, you're gonna take the lead here. On your mark, get set. And we are gonna be live.
Look at that. We are streaming live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Season 2 of BricsCAD Unplugged. I'm Don Strimbu here in beautiful but smoky Novato, California. Who else do we have here with us today?
I'm Heidi Hewitt. I'm here in snowy Colorado, but it's a beautiful day today.
Awesome.
I'm Vince with the sales team, and I am in the Midwest this week, and I'll be back in California next week, staying away from the smoke.
Yeah, bring a N95 mask with you, dude.
There you go.
And Matt, I'm in southern Utah, where it's actually really sunny outside right now, and part of the learning and education team.
Awesome. Awesome. So, hey, everybody, thank you for taking the time to come and hear what we have to say today. Super news. If you've been following us at all, you know that a couple of weeks ago in London, BricsCAD 2018 happened. And a huge announcement that was made at that venue was the fact that BricsCAD is now a part of Hexagon PPM, which is pretty amazing for all of us. We now have the financial backing and the global reach that we need to really put BricsCAD where it belongs, and that is at the top of the stack in terms of drawing-based CAD systems. We've got so much that we want to talk about with you today. Heidi's got a great demo of a couple of wonderful new features in V19, but before we do that, Matt, are you ready to show people the new web design? Because I think the web team would be really upset if we didn't show their work, the last couple months of work that are now live at bricscad.com. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah. So, folks, if you go up to it's brand new website, same URL though, but as you can see, we have a whole new look and feel to our website and our products, okay, and who we are. I'm just going to click through some of these. This I like a lot, just the first and all-one CAD solution for DWG. And believe me, folks, for somebody who's been around like me and my colleagues here on the broadcast, it's nice to see the file format DWG just grow to what it is and what BricsCAD has been doing for BricsCAD. Don, I'll pass it back to you to describe this one. Since you
Wow, yeah. So guys, this is, people keep saying, well, is it faster than that other CAD product? Well, we've got 3 independent articles that are quoted here on this panel on the webpage, and you can see faster installation, faster execution of Lisp routines, and the CAD Tempo team did some analysis of a batch process, opening 500 drawings and making changes. And as Patrick Hughes, he published an article that's on our blog. The links are there live. The source article links will take you to each one of those articles so you can see the method that they use to do the testing. In reality, it doesn't just feel faster, it is faster. And when you make drawings for a living, when you model for a living, when you create assemblies or building information models for a living, speed is super important. Try BricsCAD now.
Yes. And then also too, I love this. It just, the welcoming, for our AutoCAD users out there. If you want to come on over, believe me, it's a simple, easy jump. And we have lots of videos. Heidi and Robert Green did a great one back at our conference, and that's up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, check out the YouTube channel. All the conference videos are up there, you guys, and a lot of great new materials. You can see all of these products running. You can see full end-to-end workflow demos for BIM, for mechanical, and of course, Heidi and Hans's great demo of the V19 new feature set.
And this, you guys, the applications, the plugins, the third-party developers, we have lots, over 1,500 and counting.
It's 1,500 plus applications, yeah, for BricsCAD. And by the way, we've completely revamped the eStore. so it actually looks modern, and the search works perfectly, so you can find exactly what you need in terms of third-party apps that you might want to run with BricsCAD Pro or BricsCAD Platinum.
Okay. Now let's get into some good meat, though, and this is we get to let Heidi do some demonstration here. But everybody out there, there are so many new features, and we're going to show you a sampling of those. And Heidi is going to demo off, I think, Blockify first. Is that what you're going to do, Heidi?
I'm going to show some of my favorite features, Blockify and Parametrize, which are two of my, they're like the magic commands. So just remember, if it ends in iffy or eyes, it must be really cool and magic. So yeah, I'm going to show you those today. I'll just show you a few minutes of them. They're so cool.
I like it. Well, here, Heidi, I'm going to pass for you can share your screen and show us off some of these new features.
Great. Thank you. Move you guys out of the way. Okay, can you see my screen?
Sure can.
Yep.
All right.
Looks like BricsCAD.
Yes, it does. So this is, the first thing I'm going to show you is Blockify. This is one of those magic tools. And if you look at this drawing, there's actually 3 plans here. And they have, this can happen often where you might have some blocks, some symbols you either insert and then somewhere along the line they get exploded. Or maybe you just drew one with a bunch of geometry like this symbol here. And it's just a circle and lines, and then you copy and post it all, put it all over your drawing, but it's just a bunch of different entities, which is not a really efficient way. It's bad practice to do that, but it happens all the time. So with this magical Blockify tool, what we're going to do, let me just zoom into a few of these different symbols. All of these are individual pieces of geometry. Each one of these, they're all individual entities. What I'm going to do is just select some geometry like this receptacle here. And then using the Blockify tool, which I can find various places. Actually, let me change I'm in my 3D workspace. Let me go up here to my 2D workspace. Of course, I could type the command as well. But we've got Blockify right here. So select the geometry, Blockify. Now it's wanting to know what I want to search for matching entities, like those same ones I just selected. So I'm just going to take the whole drawing. And now I'll quickly specify the insertion point that I want it to use when it defines this new block. Just like that, within a split second, it took all those little pieces of geometry and it created a block out of those.
It did? That quick?
Magic,
cool.
magic. And it tells us up here, if I scroll back, how fast, 0.2 seconds.
And it was 96?
96 instances, yep. So created a definition and inserted it in all those places, and notice they're at different rotations. So it inserted them just as if I would do it manually, but it would take me a whole lot longer to do that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, and now we've got that block in there. I could do the same thing just as quickly with these other ones. If we look at the block definition, let me just pull up. Yeah, I'll do a rename. Say I want to rename it, because it just comes up with some name. I could look in here at my blocks, and I find it called it block 1. I could give it some other more meaningful name, like receptacle. Whoops, oh, I messed that up, but that's okay. So anyway, very easy to use using the tools you're already familiar with, plus this magic Blockify tool. Now, it's quite impressive where it can work. If you look at this jumbled mess over here, I've got these 2 different motorcycle type objects, but these are just individual entities, a whole bunch. Actually, if I select those and we look at properties, you'll see that those 2 together are over 500 little entities. Okay, that's not good. If I had a parking lot or something where all these were inserted, that'd be a heavy drawing for what it should be. And you can see that in this case, these are all on top of each other. I actually have a total of 10 instances of these 2 blocks all piled on top of each other right here. Blockify is very smart. I'm going to go ahead and use it again. So I'll select one of these sets of objects, and then I'll Blockify, and I'm just going to search the whole drawing and just take the default insertion just to be quick. Now, I'll do the same thing, repeat it again for this other set of geometry, and just like that, again, within just split seconds, it has, finish it off there, and it has taken that geometry and actually turned it into blocks. So even though it's piled up on each other there.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I told you they're magic.
That's actually cool.
It's CAD magic.
Yeah.
CAD magic. Yeah, we might rename.
When's the last time you guys saw any CAD magic, huh?
It's been a
Might
while.
have to rename the product CAD Magic. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's more. Wait, there's more. Let me go over here. So that was in 2D. It also works great in 3D. And it may be for cases that you don't even think about. This is a model that I created. And it's a duplex. So I modeled half of it, and then I mirrored to create the other half. Now, there's some things in here that look obvious, as obvious candidates for blocks, like the spindles on the deck here. So if I were smart, I would have created those as blocks and inserted them or arrayed them. And maybe I did, which I did, but then they got exploded along the way, because that happens. But really, those are the only obvious instances, maybe the fence posts back here that are repetitive objects where you would want to take the time manually to create a block definition and then insert that block definition. But there are some less obvious ones here, because I created this as half the building and then mirrored it and moved it up to create the duplex. There's really at least 2 objects. Everything in here, every solid object, there's at least 2 of them in here. But I wouldn't go through the trouble and take my time to define each of those individually and then insert them just for a couple instances. It wouldn't be worth the time. But with Blockify, it's totally worth that time because it's about a second. So I'm going to choose Blockify again. I'll just accept all the defaults. So I just hit enter twice. Blockify, hit enter twice. And now that quickly, it went through the whole model. And if we look at our structure panel, we can see it lists all the different entities. So I had these few ones up here before, the faucets and the sinks, but it created over 700, over 800 blocks that it created just like that. And It did it for things, yeah, check this out, things you wouldn't think of. I wouldn't even think of making a block out of something like this window trim, but because it had 4 instances, it went ahead and created that block and inserted it for me. So it's magic. I don't have to keep that. If I want to edit this geometry, these solids, I can always explode them or go into the block editor and edit them. But how magical is that? And I forgot to
cool.
When I first started, I should have pointed this out. This was the size, my file size. It was over 9 megs. Now I haven't saved the file yet, so let me go ahead and save it, and we'll see how much that 1 second of work. Let me give it a different name so I don't overwrite it. And regenerate the field. So that cut. So magic. Literally, it was 1 command that I used. Okay, so that's magic. Love Blockify. Now, the other one I want to show you, and I know I'm kind of running out of time. So
No. You can go on and on and on.
Oh, I could go on and on and on.
I want to make some popcorn and just sit here.
So I had so much fun. I have to tell you guys, when I went to Calgary last week, I think it was, and I was playing with Parametrize on the airplane, and I was sitting there by myself in my airplane seat laughing and giggling because I was working on it on my computer and having so much fun with it. So this is another example. This is something I'm actually working on for my house. It's a bar unit, so it's got various appliances down here, and I'll turn on the shading so that you can. I was
going to say, that's a pretty strange color scheme for your house.
Yeah, well, creative. No, it's going to be all live edge wood, and it's going to be really cool, and glass. So I've been working on this and actually wanted to parametrize it. So because initially I don't know what sizes I want for the glass. I want to try to minimize the costs by purchasing standard glass sizes. But then I've got, basically it's going to fit in this area right here in my house. And so, I've got these limitations, various constraints. So what I did, now right now this is just dumb solid objects. If I look in here at the structure, the wine racks, these down here are blocks. Okay, so I'm not going to parametrize those right now. I can sometime, but right now I'm not going to. The rest of these, all these objects up here, those are just dumb solids. Okay, I could have created them in Shape or AutoCAD or BricsCAD. I could have created them in just about any solid modeling application. I did that in BricsCAD. Very easy to do, but they're still dumb solids. I'm going to show you how easy it is to add intelligence to this. It's another magic tool. So if I go in here, I'm going to, I'm not sure where. All right, again, I'm going to use, it's because I don't have my 3D. I need my 3D workspace. Okay, so select my objects, go in here to the quad, and we've got this new tool, Parametrize. And of course, you could just type the command as well. So watch over there in the structure panel and see what happens after actually, I'm going to pull up, not the structure, I want the parameter. parameters panel right there. There it is. Okay, so if you look in the parameters panel, nothing is displayed there because there are no parameters. This is just dumb solids, okay? So go in here again, and I am just having issues with my right click. I'm trying to hurry so
excited. She can't click straight.
I can't click straight. You're right. So I did it. I selected them, ran Parametrize, and look what it did. Okay?
Oh my God.
Wow.
It constrained all those objects, this whole top touch that I created.
So Heidi, those are all constrained now.
It's fully constrained. And it, I mean, think of what it would take manually to go through and do this.
Oh,
and if you've never used parameters, and I've used them a little bit, well, yeah, it would take forever, right? And just to even figure out what to do so that it would be fully constrained.
Yeah, how do I know which one of those is assigned to what geometry?
Great question.
Yeah.
That was a setup, actually.
I know. So if you think of that, especially if you're not familiar with parameters, this can be a little bit overwhelming and you don't know which thing drives what geometry. You can right-click on one of these parameters and choose Animate. And watch over here. I happen to know that this is the radius of these little logs for supporting the structure. So just watch those logs. I'm going to choose Animate. And you can see it's showing they're getting bigger and smaller. I can do that. These ratio 1 and ratio 2, those are a little bit confusing to me. I'm not quite sure what it's getting a ratio from. Choose Animate. And you can see that's actually the shelf depth of the wood pieces there. Now, in some cases, it may not do what you want. You can totally customize this. For example, if I look here at P9, I'm going to animate that. And that's not the one I want. Let's see what else. This one. Okay, P10. Let's try that one. So you can see the glass shelves moving. So I know that that is the depth of the glass shelves. What I'm going to do is actually just rename it to something more meaningful. Okay, so select that. I'm going to just call it glass shelf depth. So you can see, you can go through here, you can rename things. The last thing I want to show in here, just so you can see how easy it is to just take this magic tool as your starting point and then still keep customizing, adding geometry, whatever it is that you need to do. You can manually add parameters as well. But with this ratio 1 here, it's actually taking that. If we look at the ratio 1 down here, we'll see that it's part of another formula. So it's taking some other length, the full depth of the part of the touch here, and it's doing it some ratio. I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to just modify it. Instead, I want it to be, I'm going to call it something meaningful, like wood, let's say wood shelf depth. Okay, so that's more meaningful. And I don't want it to be some ratio. Instead, I'm going to go down here and make these where it says ratio 1. If I go down, where did I see that? Oh, because I just named it to wood shelf depth.
You could use the search box.
That's true. I can use the search box, but I'm just going to quickly do this and copy. So instead, I don't want it to be a formula. I just want that to be that depth of it. So if I go in here, rename these few instances, I should use the search, then it would be easier. But
that's why we put it in there.
I know.
Yeah.
This is what happens. I'm trying to do it so much. Okay. So
she's so excited.
I'm so excited. Okay, so what we did, I just called that wood shelf depth. That's radius, or that's this wood shelf depth right here. Now look how, it made, I only changed a few of them. It made them really tiny over here, so I have to change the other instances. Let me just do that real quick because I want you to see.
Yeah, it was like 0.05 something, right?
Yeah, which is okay.
The ratio is still the value for the depth now. You want to change it to a real value.
Yeah, something more meaningful. But I'm going to show you quickly. And by the way, as I'm copying these, just to let you know, I'm actually going to do a blog post about this for next week. And so I will go through in detail exactly all the changes that I would make to kind of customize this exactly to my needs. But I do want to point out here, this wood shelf depth. So it's this crazy, I thought I modified those. I hope I didn't. I must have messed something up. But somewhere I messed something up. I'll have to look.
Even the experts have issues.
For rushing. I know, it's because I'm rushing. But let me show you the ultimate results of this. Because oh, there it goes. Maybe I just needed to update it. Okay, so right now, wood shelf depth is some crazy little amount, 3, okay? So I could change it to whatever I want. I'm going to say 12, and you see it modifies. But what I really want is for it to be based on the shelf, the glass shelves, because I'm going to buy those some standard size. this wood, it's going to be live edge, so I have to have it cut anyway. I want it to be just a little bit deeper than the glass shelves. So what I'm going to do is make that a expression with the glass shelves. Oops, this one here. So instead of being some specific value, I'm going to say I want it to be glass shelf depth plus, say, 1 inch. Okay, so now as I change glass shelf depth,
look at that.
3 times fast, it's going to
That
drive
is impressive.
Nice.
Okay. So let me show you the ultimate result. I went in and added some more shelves. I decided I wanted this shelf to be further down, and I added glass there. So the final one that I came up with, and this is the design I think we're going to build. I inserted it, added a few more parameters, inserted it into the model, and now we can actually drive that, because when I inserted it using the BM insert command, it's actually a block. So that means that all those wonderful parameters that I have access to in the block definition, I can drive right here and see what it's going to look like in context. So I might want to change, let's say, the height here, 48, let's say. Maybe I want to see what it would be like if it was only 36 tall. Okay, I can completely customize this. If I want to check my different shelves, maybe I want to see what it would be like to have shelf height. Let's say this is 30 instead of 24. Oh, that's not so good. Okay, so I can completely drive this. I had so much fun with this. And I can't wait to build it. I will show you when I build it. And I'm sorry I went way over my time. I knew I was going to.
You're totally fine. Mommy, who's the crazy lady on the airplane? She's laughing at her computer.
I know.
By the way, guys, I know Heidi was showing you a lot. There's filters at the top of the parameter panel, so you can filter by name. You can search for these. So that can really help you in segregating the real driving parameters versus the driven parameters. And I think that's something that, can help you organize them. The auto-parameterization is amazing, but how you set up those relationships later is what really gives you the ability to drive it. So we've hacked 90% of the work out of parameterizing, and now you can focus on actually creating a drivable entity instead of something that's just all mishmash, right? It's very cool.
It is, and one of the things you reminded me, talking about the filters, so I actually just started using that parameters panel this morning. That's why I was a little bit rough. I was using the mechanical panel up until this morning when the team reminded me about this new parameters panel. So sorry about that, but that shows you how quick you can learn, because I just started using it. They also pointed out, and I wanted to mention this, that when you add these constraints, another way for you to find out what the constraints are driving is you can select a face. So if I just select a face right here, see that little icon that displays, that is telling me that it's got that constraint on it. If I pass over that constraint, you can see it's a distance constraint.
Oh, look at that.
That's nice.
Yeah, very cool. I just learned about that this morning too. So this shows you how quick you can work with this stuff, because it is very intuitive and just magical. So
we are still finding new features in V19 even after it's released. Now, guys, Heidi has built a new core feature document that's like, what, 40 pages long?
A lot of
pretty
images,
amazing.
so don't let it scare you.
We delivered it to the development team, and we said, hey guys, now that you got a little bit of breathing room, can you take a look? And they're like, oh, hey Heidi, you forgot to add center marks and center lines, and you forgot to add this, and you forgot to add that. And it's like,
there's more.
Still discovering features like after we ship the product. This is amazing, you guys. We're so happy to be able to bring this to you. Heidi, great job. Thank you for
Sorry, I went over.
That's okay. There's going to be a lot more too, guys. We're going to be doing a lot more show and tell, because it's really important for you to see the power of V19. We're just so pumped. Vince, you had some things you wanted to talk about licensing.
Yeah, Matt, can you show the? We've got some promos. I think a couple things are really important to keep in mind. Of course, BricsCAD is a perpetual license, right? You do have the ability to buy a subscription if you want. Can you pick on the Discover our pricing?
Yep.
Our price is the same for any language, any version, any platform. The 3 platforms that we have currently. But right now, if you look on the website, you'll see the pricing. We have a promotional price that is good through, I believe, December 15th is sort of the deadline. But notice the promo price is the price now. And then I think we should have a little or in here. If you look at the prices, like for Classic, it's $781 for a perpetual license, and that also includes all-in maintenance, which means when the next release comes out, you'll get that as well. So the maintenance is included in that price,
And
or the other price that's there. The other, yes, and the other price that's there, $312. That's an or. That would be if you just wanted to do subscription. If you're used to that model and you don't want to own the license, you just want to so-and-so rent it, then you could use the subscription price.
Yeah.
But definitely want everyone to know that there's a promo going on right now. We just released 19. It just came out. And so for the next 30 days, we've got some great pricing models to get you from your current version into V19.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're an existing customer, we have some very special upgrade pricing for you. It just went live this morning. We got some feedback from a lot of our longtime customers that, hey, we love this idea of all-in maintenance, but if you put pressure on us to move to maintenance, then that means that our upgrade price goes up. And we realize that that can be a financial burden for some of our customers. So again, until December 16th, we have some very special pricing for existing customers who upgrade to V19. We will put you on all-in maintenance for a year. You will have priority technical support, and you'll get the next major release of BricsCAD when it comes out next year for a really tiny price. And the beauty of this is you have a year plus the next release to decide if all-in maintenance brings value to you. If it doesn't, you can opt out a year from now. So the best way to try this program and see how it works for you, we're delivering 40 pages of new features in a BricsCAD release. You might want to get the next one because it may have 41 pages. Heidi's already champing at the bit to get started on that.
I am.
In great shape.
By the way, I think we've simplified some of the pricing. So for those of you that have been on Classic, maintenance and our maintenance contracts, all those things have been reduced in price. It's easier. So for those in Classic, the price went down. Platinum, I think the price went up a little bit. Pro, it's pretty similar. But we're trying to make it more simplified in terms of how we price these things. And so if you have any questions, by all means, just call us, email us, get a hold of us. We're here to help.
That's what we do.
Cool.
And we did go way,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're running long,
over on time. Oh, man. Is anybody still
that would
out
happen.
there? Have you all
we'll be
given
back
up?
next week. It's time to say goodbye, though, okay? And,
I know, I'm bumming, man.
Bye.
all right, bye, and we'll see everybody next week. And like us on Facebook and like us on YouTube. And we will be back next week.
From Ghent.
That's right. Don will be in Ghent, and
So we're gonna do some fun BIM stuff from Ghent next week. So be ready.
Yep. Okay. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Facebook is stuck.